In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the reset the service due light, and not to get mixed up with the oil change. The oil change and the service due light is two separate things. The oil change is obviously when you do the oil change, and the service light is pretty much like an inspection of the car. So they pretty much check all your fluids, your tire depth, your brake pad depth, pretty much all that stuff if you take it to a dealership. But if you do that yourself, might as well, check all your fluids, your tire depth, your brake pads, pretty much everything, and then you can go ahead and service. It's just a reminder to check for that stuff. So first we're gonna do is turn on the car in auxiliary mode. We're gonna wait. Just give it a couple seconds. Right there, service due. So if you go ahead, if you go to the car, right here, press that, and then we go to the car system, which will correspond to this button right here, and then you're gonna slide over to where it says servicing and checks, and then you can go down to service intervals. So here you'll see I still have about 4,000 miles left for the oil change, or 143 days, and the inspection due, that's what this is right here, that 13,000 miles. So what we're gonna do is reset that. But since we're already here, if you do need to change the oil, so you'll scroll down and then you'll just go to reset oil change. Since I'm not needing to reset my oil change, I don't need to do that. But if you do, go ahead and press that, and then this will be all zeros, and this will give you more days than that. I don't remember off the top of my head how many days you have, but this will still be the same. So not to get confused with service due. So let's go ahead and use Vagcom connected to the car, and I'll show you how to reset the service due. Okay, now that we're on Vagcom and connected to the car, we're gonna go ahead and go to select control module. We're going to go to number 17, instruments, and then here we're going to go to adaptations /10. So here we have to go through several menus on the drop down. So anything that's usually like service or like time related, not as far as like hours and time, not that related, but I mean like, so this service reminder right here, this is where you, if you don't change it on your car, this is where you change it on your for oil reset. Since I accidentally already put in 0 for it here, so I pretty much reset my oil service. So this is where you would reset your oil service if you have to, FYI. So the next one, service, will go down to mileage since service. You can go ahead and put in a 0 here if it's not already a 0. And if it's not, you're going to put in a 0 here. You can go to, once you put in the 0, you're going to test it, and you're going to see the test value and the new value are equal to same. Then you go ahead and save it. And yes, I am sure. Now we went from time since service, time since service now. So we did mileage since service, now time since service. And if this is not 0, go ahead and put a 0 in there, and then you're going to do the same thing, test, and then you're going to go ahead and save. And once that's done, you can always double check and read and see if that is your new value, which that it is. We're going to go from there. We just did time since service. We're going to go down to distance since inspection. So here we have 181 as our value. So what we want to do is change this to a 0 because it's 0 day. So we're going to go ahead and test and save. And are you sure? Yes. And just to make sure, we're going to read it. And there we go. We got that. Stored value is now 0. So now we go to distance since inspection, and now we do the last but not least, the time since inspection is the next one. And there you have 356 with 354. So it's pretty much a year, it looks like. So we're going to make that into 0 again, day 0. So what we want to do is test and then save. And yes, we do want to save it. So let's go ahead and read that. And yes, so now the new stored value is 0. So now we're done and go back, and I believe, wait, let me just make sure that was all of them. Inspection, yep, that's it. So now when we go back to our car, we can go ahead and X out of this. That service due light should be gone now. Alright, I'm gonna start up the car just on auxiliary mode, then turn it on all the way. And there you go. That's how you reset your service due light through those parameters on Vagcom. And then just to double check that your car did reset, you can either navigate through the menu MMI, or you can just go directly to where it says car. So we press on car, and then just like before, we're going to go ahead and go to car system, which corresponds to this right here. And then we're going to go to where it says service and checks, down to service interval. And now, so I accidentally reset my oil, which dummy me, but I keep track of that off paper, so I already know how many miles I have to do my oil service. But here it says next inspection, it's 10,000 miles or 365 days. So pretty much every year or 1,000 miles, whichever comes first, is when you'll get that service due light inspection. So yeah, so thank you for watching on how to reset the oil change light, or I mean the oil change service, and also the service due light as well.